how do you make sense of these dreams and these visions that you're getting? How do you make sense of this stuff when you're having dreams about rivers of blood or giant octopuses taking over the city, or huge helicopters landing in your bedroom? How do you make sense of this crazy stuff? Well, first of all, I want to let you know that if you dream of rivers of blood, don't get freaked out. Consider, in your dream, was the river of blood even scary to you? Might not have been. If there was a giant octopus waddling through town, how'd you feel about the octopus in the dream? If you were terrified of the octopus, then the octopus is representing something that you're scared of in your life. But it's probably an octopus part of yourself. So these things are a little bit complicated if you try and think with your thinky brain. If you try and make sense of it with your rational brain, your dreams do not make sense. But your dreams are not the language of your rational brain. Your dreams are the language of your subconscious. And your subconscious communicates in archetypes, in symbols. Well, okay then, I'll have a book by my bed that tells me what this symbol of an octopus means. No, it's not relevant whatever the book thinks an octopus means. What's relevant is what you think an octopus represents. Stay with me now. These little tips for unpacking the meaning of a dream also relate to unpacking the meaning of a vision that you get when you're in trance, or when you're using the drum to go into journey, or when you're in the hot tub meditating and you kind of enter a dreamy state and have a little vision. It's the same process. Don't rationalize it. Don't try and make sense of it in the normal way. Instead, it's really important to discover inside yourself what these things represent. So let's say, for example, that you've had this vision of a river of blood. And in the dream, you're like, whoa, it's a river of blood. I should do something about this. And maybe you start making clay figurines out of the clay on the side of the river of blood or something. And then when you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, I dreamed of blood. Something bad's going to happen. That's your thinky brain. So don't go straight into that mindset. If you're waking up from a dream, like from sleeping, or if you're coming out of a drum journey or another meditative state, enjoy the in-between. While you're in that in-between stage, when you're coming out of your trance or your dream, stay with it. Maybe even write down what happened in your vision. Write it down without editing it. Write it down without making it make sense. Write it down without starting to analyze it. Stay in like a reporter's mind where you're just like, this happened, and the river of blood, and then the giant octopus came through town, and just all the details, and include, when you're reporting it, how you were feeling. Include how you were feeling during the dream. Once you have that all laid out, now you can dive into, okay, what is blood to me? Just what is blood? If I were going to describe blood to an alien who's never been on Earth before, what would I say? Without referencing anything that the alien wouldn't know about, I might say, okay, blood, it's a fluid that sustains life, that moves inside, I was about to say the body, but they wouldn't know what that is. So it moves inside the vessel of my awareness to bring life-giving vitality, because I can't say just oxygen, to every part of my instrument. Now I've started to unpack what blood actually represents. It's a fluid, something that flows, bringing vitality to all parts of my instrument. Okay. Is there some way in my own life that that kind of vitality juice is flowing, that I'm starting to create forms and shapes from the container of that? Oh, well, I've been working out. Maybe that's what that is. Maybe. And then you start, after you've unpacked all the symbols, then you let your mind go, what does that remind me of in life? I wonder what this dream relates to in life. It's probably not about blood. Okay. I have learned this lesson over and over again, and I've learned it the hard way. As I've been on my path of receiving visions, like I started receiving visions right away, and I remember making some rookie mistakes because I didn't yet know this and I wasn't yet trained in it. I had done some study actually of dream work, and dream work has to do with this, like unpacking the symbols. And so when I started having big visions right after Clarice was born, I at least knew that they were like dreams, that I shouldn't take them completely literally. But I was also so overcome with them that I may have given my visionary world too much literal, importance. So, for example, I had quite a few visions for other people when I first woke up, when I first had all this intuitive information flooding through me all the time. I was able to see and track and receive messages for everybody around me. And that was a little much, honestly. And it was so powerful. It was so potent. It was so strong. It was so visceral that if I got a message for someone, I felt compelled, like I need to call this person. I need to tell this person. I need to share this message that I got. And I would sometimes do that in my impulsive way, in my Aries moon eagerness, and I would share the message, I would share the vision, and then we would both freak out about whatever the symbols were without ever doing the unpacking of the symbols. Oh my God, I had this vision that you were pregnant, and then there was this monster who came and was threatening you, and I'd be sharing the visionary language with the person before I could even help them unpack what it really meant. Before I had created my own language with my guides to communicate clearly these sorts of messages. And what did it do? Well, it created drama, because now the person's freaked out. Am I going to get pregnant? I don't need to be pregnant again. I don't want to be pregnant again. Oh, and there's a monster. Who's the monster? And so, whoops, like rookie mistake. Plus, rookie mistake to just because I get the impulse to deliver a message, or just because I get a message that I think is for another person, I don't get to deliver that unless I have consent from that person. Delivering psychic messages to people without getting their explicit, informed consent is rude and is rarely well received. So I learned with my teachers, and it took a couple of years to learn this kind of protocol and politeness. And I wish more people talked about it, because it's embarrassing now to think to myself, I remember pushing Clarice in the stroller in a mall and getting this message, oh, that woman right over there, she was abused when she was 4 years old, and you need to go tell her it's okay. And I literally would walk up to this poor woman and be like, excuse me, I'm a professional intuitive and I have a message for you, and do you want to hear it? No, well, I guess so. Well, I can see that you were abused when you were 4 and now she's crying. Oh my God, how do you know that? And then, well, your angels and guides say it's okay. And they're just like, oh my God, this is so weird. It's rarely helpful. It's a little bit of an ego trip. And for me, I got an ego boost, because then that person would be like, you're right. And I'd be like, oh, I know things. What confirmation? But what is the impact on this woman? from knowing that some stranger could see her abuse from across the world, across the mall, which is not the world. And there was no consensual container there. There was nowhere for her to fall apart. We're like in a busy walkway of a mall. This is no time to be reflecting her childhood sexual abuse to her. So just as these visions need to be unpacked symbolically, we need to sit with it and cook with it and open it up before we go shooting it out of our mouths or shooting it through the logical brain to analyze it and jump to conclusions. Also, vision should be held and contained. And yeah, even if you feel compelled to give a message to someone, that's inside of you. That's not their consent. That's not their choice. And I've found that spirit doesn't always understand appropriate boundaries, probably because spirit is amorphous and doesn't have boundaries. But you do, and it's your responsibility, it's my responsibility to honor boundaries. So, there are so many things that I learned by messing them up. So if you feel like, oh crap, I've been doing things that were messing it up, well, unfortunately, that seems to be part of the journey, and it's really common. So don't beat yourself up about it. But I do want you to know that there's a lot to learn about this stuff the easy way. It would be nice, right, to learn it the easy way and to be able to have community that tells these funny stories with each other without any judgment. And if you want that, you should totally check out the Wisdom Collective, because that's where we do that. The Wisdom Collective is less than $50 a month, with lots of healing and lots of community and lots of lessons of this sort of stuff, of how to utilize your intuition in a grounded way. Jeepers. And then there's the Wisdom Mastermind, which is the next level up. That's under $500 a month, but with that you get personalized clearings, personalized readings every single month to really help you stay in touch with your own power and to keep growing your channel in the easiest way possible, which includes getting some flippin' help from your sister channel. So just know that this is, well, this stuff, once you've been burned on it, seems logical and easy to, oh, that makes sense, but nobody taught us this in school. So there is a school for you, the Wisdom Collective, and it's not, thousands of dollars a month like many psychic trainings are. It's more of a collective, down-to-earth collaboration with teachers who all have more than 20 years experience doing this stuff, including my Apache mama, including my sacred bee teacher, including my sound healer, include like the people that I really trust, because I know they have integrity and because they're super fun and down to earth and accessible. Those are the kind of wisdom teachers you want to help you lift yourself in your own gifts, because you're gifted and you're wise. And that's why we call it a collective. So you can check that out. I think you probably like it. And I'd love to get to know you better. Meanwhile, keep in mind these lessons that I've learned the hard way, that many of us learn the hard way, to unpack the meaning of your visions. And the better you get at that, the easier it is to, if you want to make that your business, your path. And as you probably know, I'm an expert in helping people step into their intuitive business and provide these intuitive gifts as part of either their profession that seems mainstream plus intuition, or if you have a business that's like you're a healer, you're an oracle, you're a guide. Either way, like intellect and intuition are designed to go together. But what that requires is good protocol and boundaries and the unpacking of these archetypes and symbols so that you can distill usable, pragmatic wisdom from these powerful visions that come to you more and more as you open. I hope this has been helpful. Let me know what you think, and I would love to see you in the Wisdom Collective.